Hello everyone, this is Krotic giving you a shoutcast and game 1 in a best of 3 series between HasuObs and Fnatic Sen here on Tal'Darim Altar. This series promises to be a good one just because it is the 5th and final series in this best of 5 matchup between Mousesports and Fnatic. Both teams have taken 2 series apiece. Fnatic clawing their way back from an 0-2 deficit, and now everything relies on Sen to see if he can make this improbable comeback, or will HasuObs be able to save it. Based upon the matchup and based upon the style of the prize competition, or how the prize money will be distributed, this is essentially a $1,500 show match between HasuObs and Sen, a best of 3 series for their clans. You can now see HasuObs making his way out with this one scouting probe, and a pretty typical strategy here on Tal'Darim Altar. It most likely will be a Forge fast expansion here. Meanwhile, taking a look back over here by Sen pretty much not showing any true strategy yet. He may try to go for a fast hatchery. Tal'Darim Altar does play towards that specific style. Another key thing to note, there are no destructible rocks at the third base, so this is this third base hatchery can act as a macro hatch, as well as these mineral patches and this gas will be depleted rather quickly. A probe now making its way in. I believe the Overlord does spot it just ever so barely, as I believe this drone is going to grow up and be a hatchery. With this hatchery first, we will most likely see a Nexus first coming in from HasuObs. Yeah, it comes in, sees the hatchery, and now what will be coming underway. You can see that there's already 300 minerals saved up in the bank for HasuObs. HasuObs may just move out with this one probe over here, set up that Nexus, and then try to set up another pylon as well, making sure that he doesn't fall behind in the economic game, or he could go for Forge first, as he does not want to be too vulnerable. No, going for a gateway first. So it is going to be a gateway first instead of the Forge, and that means that his Cybernetics core timing will not be as far behind. You can see the spawning pool also coming into play as well. So with that spawning pool, a couple of Zergins could be trained up. It is a rather large walking distance though, and yeah, it is a rather large walking distance, and that may be a bit of an issue there. Yeah, and that may be a bit of an issue, and that is probably one of the reasons why the gateway could be placed down first and then the Forge. And what this will also do is, because the gateway was placed down first, you can also get the Cybernetics core down much more quickly instead of having to place down a gateway and then cancel it. This Nexus about to be completed, 21/26. There's that Cybernetics core that I was talking about just moments ago. 21 probes versus 18 drones, and more queens are being trained up. So we are going to get double queens in play. So Sen going to have a very, very strong economy in just a moment. He is still mining with one drone on the gas. Perhaps that is a mistake, or perhaps he just wants to not fall too far behind in that gas production, as Sen now starts to spawn larva at both of these hatcheries, and expect a very, very strong income to come in from Sen. Meanwhile, back over here, HasuObs is getting up that one cannon up and running. He should be researching that warp gate research in just a moment. Currently just trying to chrono boost out as many probes as possible. Warp gate research has been started. He is not going to chrono boost it though. Instead, he is just going to chrono boost his nexuses in order to get a stronger economy going. So HasuObs going to try to be able to just get a stronger economy going, but Sen, I believe, around the 7-minute mark, will be taking this hatchery here. At the same time, Hasu may try to decide to take this hatchery or this Nexus here in order to not fall behind, but he would need to break down this front door. And that's always very, very problematic, as the Protoss player doesn't want to break down this front door until it is absolutely necessary. 37 drones compared to 33 probes, and that number will just get larger and larger until Sen tries to finally build up a stronger army. You can see that he has a lot of larvas queued up. 5 larvae down over here, and now another round of spawn larvae here. Production, we are getting 5 additional drones, 2 more overlords to not fall behind. And here is another hatchery by Sen. So Sen going absolutely crazy expanding into this location, he doesn't want to go on low mineral patches at all, but this hatchery will be significantly closer to his opponent and will be much more difficult to defend. You can see the overlords are getting into position. We are already going into a Twilight Council, so we may either get Dark Templars or just try to go for Zealot's legs or for that Stalker Blink research. One poor Zergling there just poking a little bit of pressure onto this one probe, and Sen has to feel pretty confident now that he is going to be able to have such a strong economy, sitting on 53 drones and getting up another hatchery as well. The drones are already being transferred, a rather gutsy move considering that he did not activate any of these Elnaga watchtowers to see if the drones were caught in transition, and now these drones are pretty much going to be able to mine in peace. Level 1 weapons upgrade now being started. The blink now being started as well. Evolution chamber about to be completed. Sen perhaps should be going into double evolution chamber as well, as we are now at tier 2. Gateways are finally being placed down, and as soon as HasuObs makes his way out, that forge, he has to be very careful that he doesn't actually destroy it before the research is done. There, level 1 research is now done. He will be able to take down that door and now try to make a move outside of the space. The forge is now down. Level 1 weapons upgrade completed, and now a pylon taking its place. A Stalker now making its way out. Sentries and Stalkers also warping into play as the Zerglings have that metabolic speed. We are getting Glio reconstitution, and with Sen finally getting up to 57 drones off of 3 bases, he's going to have a very strong economy and a really easy place to start spreading creep from. Zerglings making sure that there is no Nexus over here, cleaning up that probe. And now perhaps getting a little bit caught in midfield. Those force fields and Stalkers blinking behind, able to get some damage onto those Zerglings. Zerglings being forced to run all the way home as this Zergling was taken down. A lot of Zerglings hiding off over here, not quite sure why, as Sen setting up an additional macro hatch. Sen uncharacteristically currently supply locked at 102 or 100 over 102, and also sitting on 1200 minerals. So his macro could have been much larger at this stage in the game. We can see that the Glio reconstitution, pneumatized carapace, and Zerg ground carapace is getting researched. Zerglings going to have that level 1 armor upgrades to protect against that level 1 weapons upgrade, but there are not that many Zealots in the field. Zerglings may be able to catch perhaps these Stalkers in transition. Stalkers able to blink away though. And while those Zerglings are not running on creep, they are not going to be able to get that much damage. The Zerglings, however, catching the sentries. The Stalkers now blinking back, trying to save those sentries. Another sentry getting taken down. And Hasu in a bit of trouble there as more Zealots are going to get taken down. Are they going to try to run up that ramp? It doesn't look like it, as a photon cannon here. And this strategy is something more typical that you would see from Metalopolis. Zerglings now trying to swarm in. In come the force field, splitting off the Zerglings. And now perhaps just going to try to take down this front door, get some damage onto the Zealots there. Another Zealot being warped in right behind it. As soon as one Zealot going to get taken down, another Zealot will hold its position. And Sen not able to run around at all. More Zerglings just having their way here, trying to get as much damage as possible. More Zerglings hiding down over here as well. One photon cannon as the warp gates are being upgraded. And Zerglings still the only unit to be seen so far. So Zerglings and perhaps some Infestors. 12 drones have been added, 58 drones compared to 64 probes. Sen perhaps needs to set up this hatchery over here as well to continue to mine once more. The Observer able to shut down that Overlord, as now HasuObs will have a little bit more of a difficult time trying to take a 4th base. There is this expansion here that he can easily try to take, and that would probably work out well. Another Overlord getting shot down, so Sen definitely behind. If you look at the harvester count though, 1800 versus 1800, a significant gas advantage for Sen, as he is able to mine out essentially 2 additional gas geysers, and it will be 3 in just a moment, as the Zerglings are looking for a much larger army to try to take down. You can see that Sen does not have that large of an army now, sitting at 1850 compared to 2625. The Stalkers getting off another round of attack, shooting those poor Zerglings in the back. There is an Overseer in play. The Overseer did see this one Observer here as another hatchery now being placed down. And I'm thinking that HasuObs most likely suspects something, that this hatchery should already be up and running. It should not be placed down so late. So now HasuObs going to come down over here, perhaps look for another expansion and see this expansion here. Sen now moving out with those infestors. Those infestors are rather fast on creep, but this is going to be a problem though, as there are going to be a lot of stalkers moving at the speed of light. Where, oh, the Spore Crawler was able to get off the kill. No, the Spore Crawler was unable to get off the kill. I'm not quite sure where the Observer went. The Observer did not scout it out that location there, as this Zealot fights off a Zergling. Couple force fields, Zealots getting caught out of position, Zerglings continuing to just try to poke apart. The Stalker's able to get more damage back, and Sen once again in retreat. Level 2 Carapace upgrades, as the Infestors are perhaps looking to get as much fungal growth as possible, and we are now finally going into Hive Tech. So it is going to be 4 base play compared to 3 base play. The Zerglings here are going to finish off the Zealot with rather ease. Is Sen going to be able to get some in fungal growth? There's one fungal growth, another fungal growth hitting, and now more fungal growths need to be laid down. The Infestor is just getting destroyed. As many fungal growths as allowed, but Sen losing a lot of his units there. And that was a heavy loss. A lot of Zealots and Stalkers are currently in the red there, and a lot of them were taken down. A Dark Shrine also being added, as Roaches finally being added to the army as well. Level 2 weapons upgrade, level 1 armor upgrade, and level 3 weapons upgrade. Tunneling Claws and Zerg attack upgrades coming underway as well. Roaches trying to get as much damage as possible. They will not be able to chase after those units. The Roaches do move slightly faster than the Zealots, as they do not have that leg upgrade right now, and those Zealots are just going to get picked apart. The Stalkers do not want to try to engage, knowing that there are Infestors right behind them. And with those Infestors, those Stalkers would just absolutely get stuck. And now it looks like the Roaches are trying to back off. The creep spread now trying to get underway once more, as the Roaches have level 2 armor upgrades, and that is it. No weapons upgrade, but they are going to have Tunneling Claws. Tunneling Claws have been completed or now being researched, but no burrow research yet, which is a bit of a surprise. The Colossi now trying to engage. Dark Templars also engaging back over here, and there is no Overseer. The Dark Templar is going to perhaps go straight for those, for those Infestors, and the Infestor finally getting off a fungal growth, trying to take down all of these Stalkers here. They are going to be able to blink away, taking down a Colossus in transit, as those Dark Templars are not going to be able to catch up. No Overseers, and now more damage being dealt. All of those Stalkers going to be able to blink, catch up to those Roaches, waiting for another round of blink. If they're able to blink, and now down go those Dark Templars. Another round of Dark Templars going to get destroyed, as the Zerglings now picking off more units. So it seems like whichever side of the whichever group of units are retreating, that is the one that is taking more and more damage. Dark Templar now looking to do some scouting, and it looks like it will come across this hatchery over here. There is a Spore Crawler and a Spine Crawler combination. That Dark Templar is going to have a very bad day, down to already 36 hit points. 2 base armor, reducing the damage on those from that Queen pretty drastically. Level 3 weapons upgrade about to be completed. So Colossus with level 3 weapons upgrade. There is a Changeling here that's hanging around on the front door. Army compositions. Sen with a much larger army, and also banking a lot of minerals. He should be able to put some pressure. Sen finally getting that burrow research, realizing that he didn't have burrow. Poor Dark Templars trying to fight back. Roaches now engaging as well, as we are now going to get a large army of Stalkers and Colossi coming in and bringing up the rear. Another Dark Templar trying to run away. It looks like the Overseer does have the pneumatized Carapace, able to catch up. One of the more faster moving detectors. And now, Sen losing a lot of his Infestors once again, and they got ahead of this. This is going to be really bad, as the Stalkers are now trying to run away. Colossi able to use that high ground advantage and that range, and now you can see both sides just battling it out. And now those Roaches, a very large army of Roaches, in fact, should be able to burrow and engage, get some more damage in. The Colossi getting in another clean swipe, and perhaps going to try to put some pressure onto all of these Photon Cannons. Roaches just simply attack, moving into this group. Zealots and all of these Roaches are just going to get torn apart here. What is happening? Is he trying to just free up food? That's the only thing that I can think of, as he does have a lot of minerals. Instead, dumping them all into Zerglings and Ultralisks to battle this army of Stalkers. Zerg Carapace upgrade level 3 about halfway completed. Stalkers are only going to be dealing minimal damage, as we now have 88 Zerglings, so 44 food worth of units in Zerglings, in addition to 28 or 42 food worth of Ultralisk, and those all will be hatching in just a moment. You can see how quickly Sen is going to replenish that army in just a matter of seconds there. So Ultralisk are now joining in the middle of the field. Level 2 blades, level 5 armor, so those Ultralisk are not going to be dealing that much damage at all. The Stalkers only dealing 12 damage in attack, as more and more Ultralisks are still being added, and level 6 upgrades almost completed, or level 6 armor upgrade almost completed for those Ultralisks. Hatcheries are being placed down once again. So both sides mining in the majority of those hatcheries. I'm surprised that this hatchery has yet to be placed down, as that would perhaps seem a little bit easier to defend than this hatchery or even this hatchery here. The Ultralisks are now making their way out. Infestors continuing to push out. The creep spread could continue to get better as the Zerglings getting sliced apart by all of those Colossi. Ultralisks are now trying to come in. Psystorm coming in as well. So Psystorm and Colossi, both sides getting a lot of damage, and in comes a Fungal Growth. So Fungal Growth stopping many of those Stalkers in their tracks. And now, taking a look at those Ultralisks are trying to run away, and that one poor Dark Templar gonna get sliced apart, as an Archon also making its way into the field. So Archons should be able to get in a lot of damage. Ultralisks perhaps going to try to charge their way through. Ultralisks going to be able to get a lot of splash damage here on all of those tightly packed buildings. Infestors unable to get off any Fungal Growths. Are they going to get a Fungal Growth off here? No, unable to do so, as the Archons leading the charge in this battle. The Colossi trying to run away, the Colossus or the Ultralisks trying to run away. Zerglings once again engaging both sides. Both sides just dumping in a lot of units, as Sen now in a bit of trouble, losing another Infestor. And Sen still having a very, very hard time. You can see the Stalkers and the Zealots now pushing their way through. It looks like the Stalkers and the Zealots are looking to get as much damage as possible. Down goes an Overseer and a couple Zerglings as well, as another set of gateways have been placed down here, so this Nexus will be really, really easy to defend. And now HasuObs on the counter charge, as Stalkers continue to push their way through. Another Overlord gonna get shot down here. Sen in a bit of trouble. His army is much, much weaker at this stage, as the Observer may be able to start cleaning up a lot of these mineral patches. If you take a look at the Harvester count, though, Sen does have that going for him, as drones are now being transferred to these mineral patches as well, and another 14 drones being transferred over. That should definitely help out Sen. Sen is in a bit of trouble, though. He needs to set up another hatchery here. There is already one Zealot there. The Zealot is currently upgraded 3-2-1 or 3-1-2. Level 2 shield upgrades, as Archons are going to be very difficult to deal with. Those Archons with a natural 2 shield armor will be able to absorb a lot of damage. You can see one Spinecrawler fighting off against a Dark Templar there. It looks like a Zealot the Zealot now getting surrounded, and that Spinecrawler able to uproot and live and to fight another day. Army composition: 6,000 minerals, 4,000 gas, 4,000 minerals, 2,000 gas, as the Corruptors are now being added, which means most likely we may also have Broodlords. The Corruptors, however, in play to really challenge those Colossi. 8 Colossi in the field. 8 Corruptors now being added to try to deal with the 3 Colossi that are currently in the field. Those Colossi dealing so much damage, as they are getting that level 3 weapons upgrade. Down goes another Overlord, as it looks like HasuObs looking to deal a devastating blow to Sen's economy, and Stalkers quickly blinking in, and now this hatchery will get absolutely destroyed in just a matter of seconds. Sen taking this opportunity to perhaps engage instead of trying to defend his poor hatchery over here. This hatchery will go down with ease, as the Zerglings are now going to simply try to run by. Zealot is currently warping into play. This pylon may get taken down, as the cannon is now taken down as well. Corruptors are also in play. This one warp gate will get taken down. It looks like all of the Kaiser Blades, all of these buildings, all of these units will get destroyed, as the army of Mousesports' HasuObs is very, very slow. Ultralisks now coming into position here. It looks as though a lot of buildings will get taken down. The army composition, though, it doesn't look that good at all for Sen. As soon as HasuObs' army gets in position, the superior upgrades should be enough. Ultralisks, however, are taking down not very critical buildings. These gateways need to get destroyed, though, as the main base pretty much is holding a lot of tech and not much of anything else. And now you can see that there are 3 Colossi here. There are a lot of Corruptors here. Ultralisk trying to battle it out against Dark Templar, will be able to win out in that battle here. Corruptors going after Colossi. 1 Colossus down. Another Colossus may get taken down. But yeah, Sen has to say GG. So Sen losing game 1 in this best of 3 series. And now Sen, the only thing stopping HasuObs and Mousesports from $1,250 or $1,500 now, $1,500 is 1 victory. Will Sen be able to force a game 3, or will HasuObs be able to finish it off? Stay tuned for game 2 in this best of 3 series between HasuObs and Sen. Zerg versus Protoss. I believe, actually, I don't know what map it's taking place on, so I will have to follow that up with the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Congratulations to HasuObs, and stay tuned for game 2.